So we just now introduce ourselves with the ribbon available. Let's talk about these different ribbons and different features available within ribbon. So within home tab, we will find most commonly used features like cut, paste, get data from various data sources, and then insert. Second one is the insert tab. So what exactly we will find in insert tab? We can go to insert tab. Within insert tab, we are going to find these different features available. Like it will allow us to add AI visuals, text box, buttons, shapes, images, etc. It will also allow us to use this AI artificial intelligence visuals available. Then we can move to modeling tab. Under modeling tab, different features are given, like we can add new measures for calculations. This calculation group is available. This is the calculation group, and we can create a table. We can create new columns. We can create these new measures. This calculation group is given. And then we have some more options given. The next tab is view button or view tab. Under view tab, we can change theme. If suppose we want to change theme of our entire report, we can use theme, and then we have some more features. We have show panes group, which has multiple features like filters, bookmarks, selection pane, performance analyzer. So we are going to learn about all these features one by one when we will create a report. So these are the different tabs given. And then we have three types of views available. One is report view, then we have table view, and we have model view. So what are these views? These views are given here. If we hover our mouse, we can see name of this view. The very first icon is report view. Second one is table view. Third one is model view. So these are the different views available. We will see this in detail once we connect with our data source. Now let's get started and let's connect with some data source. We are going to get data in Power BI to get started. So why even we want to get started? Why even we want to connect with our data source? Let me explain why even we want to use this data. So what is this data? This data is about sales, about profits. So we have different worksheets available. This is very commonly used data source, which is Global Superstore data set. And in this data set, there are multiple worksheets given. One is order details, which has these different columns available. And even we have these transactional values like unit price, quantity, sales, profit, target sales, etc. Then we have product table. And then we have customer table who purchase these products. Then we have date. One column along this one column has all different dates. Then we have sales representative table. So these are the different worksheets available in this document. Now, if I'll ask you, hey, who all are the best customers? We don't know. By just looking at this data, we won't be able to answer which products are most profitable, which category or subcategory is generating highest sales, which market or country or state is generating highest sales, who all are the top or bottom top 10 or bottom 10 customers. So we want to retain all the best customers, but we won't be able to answer these questions by just looking at this data. So we would like to visualize this data. So why we want to visualize this data? It is because we want to create some strategies for the business so that business can grow. So we want to make our business intelligent by leveraging this BI or data visualization tool. Why not in Excel? Because sometimes data is very huge, very massive, and Excel can store very less data. Excel can store up to 1 million rows. Let me show you. If we need to say how many number of rows we can enter in Excel, it depends on which version you're using. This is 2019 version. In latest version, we can add up to 1,048,576 rows. If suppose we have more than 2 million data, then we won't be able to store that data in Excel, and we won't be able to visualize that data. That data has to be stored in a different source. Maybe some database can be used to store that much data. Now, even if we will store up to 5 lakhs rows or maybe even 1 million rows, it is difficult to visualize that data in Excel because Excel will slow down once we start using such a huge, massive amount of data in Excel. And then there are many other reasons. During this course, we will learn those reasons why Power BI went to move from Excel to Power BI. So we are going to connect with this data source. The file type is Excel. The data source file type is Excel. So let me show you how we can connect with this data source, because without connecting with this data source, this is a blank Power BI file. To get started, we need to connect with data source. We can click on import data from Excel. We can click here as well if we want. This will also allow, even we can click on get data, wherever you see get data, we can click on that, and that will allow us to connect with that data source. Now we are going to import our data and we need to find our data source. Our data source is global superstore data set. Let's select our data source, and once we select our data source, a navigator pane will open. Power BI will make connection with that data source, and after making connection with that data source, we will see this navigator pane will open. Now this navigator pane will show us all the worksheet names available in our data source. Order details, product table, customer table, date and sales representative. So these are the different worksheets given. These are the names given. So we are going to see all these names in navigator pane. We don't see any preview here because we have not selected any table. Let's just select one by one. So this is the data available in customer table. We can see preview of this data. We can select date, which is just one column. We can select order details. So this will allow us to see preview of all these different data. Now, to load this data, we need to check these boxes. If suppose we want to connect with only these three, then just check these three boxes. But if we want to load this entire data, then check all the boxes and then we can click load. And once we click load, within few seconds, Power BI will make connection with that file. It will process the queries, and then very soon, within few seconds, we will see our data will be loaded here. We will see all our table names here, and even we will be able to see our field name as well. What is field name? So our Excel data source has these different columns, and each of these columns has these headers or titles. So now let's see in Power BI, it may take few seconds depending on size of our data, that how much time it is going to take to connect with that data source and loading that data in Power BI. So let it load, and once this will be loaded, we will see here all the table name. See, it's almost done. And now we will see those table names here. Look at this. These are the different tables. We can click here to expand this. These are the different columns given in our data source. Order details is the worksheet name, and whatever we are seeing here, these are called as field, and these fields are actually the columns title or headers available in our data source file. So that's how we can connect with our data source. If we need to connect with SQL Server, we can click here, and then we need to provide those details. In the very beginning, most of the steps to connect with the data source is somewhat similar. There are some minor differences. So during this course, we will learn how to connect with different data sources. In this video, we'll learn how to connect with Excel data source.